What's up, everyone? I'm Undrea King.
And I'm Andy Speed.
And welcome to the Wholesale Nation Podcast. As you can see today, we have a guest in studio with us today, Mr. Ramon Tookes, straight out of Atlanta, Georgia. Ramon, what's been going on?
Hey, listen, honored to be here. I wouldn't dare come to this city without coming to see you. That's why I called. Just an amazing time, especially in real estate. So.
Okay. Yeah, so I met you, what has it been, a couple of years ago, right?
2018.
So 2018, you had I think you had a training here in Houston.
Yes.
I can't remember how we linked up. Maybe it was social media or something like that. I can't remember.
You know what?
Somebody referred you. It was, who was it?
Oh, you know what? I think
Was it DJ?
Somebody reached out to me. I can't remember.
Derek and Gary.
Was it them?
I think so.
I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
I don't remember. But yeah, so we ended up linking up, spoke at your event, which was a great event. You had the Flipology event going on.
Yes.
And so that's when we got a chance to link up and, been kind of just touching base with you ever since. And so it was great at that point. And that's when I really learned about, what you were doing and all that good stuff. So how about you tell our audience, a little bit about yourself, how you got started in real estate and all that good stuff.
Yeah, yes, sir. Again, thank you for having me on. So again, Ramon Tookes, based out of Atlanta. This is year 25 in the business. Wow. So I know it's a quarter of a century. So, but got started as a bird dog in college. Okay. And just have grown it tremendously since then. So we've done a little bit of everything. Bird dogging, I guess that's the old version of wholesaling. Yeah. Fixing and flipping is what a lot of people know us from doing. Buying, holding, single family, multifamily, land development. So we're what they call generalists. Yeah. I love all of it. I love rental income. I love flipping. I love wholesaling. So right. And then we jumped into the educational world in 2015. Mm-hmm. And so that's when Flipology was born. We've taught thousands of people now on different aspects of flipping real estate, whether it be wholesaling, buying, holding, the whole nine. And it is growing tremendously. So it has turned into something that's bigger than what we could have ever imagined. Right.
So what made you go from practicing real estate to teaching it? Was it the next evolution?
I'm active every day.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that feel like you're not able to do both. But at one point in 2014, prior to that, so we went through the crash.
Yep.
So I learned a lot. We lost a lot, learned a lot, right? In 2013 or 14 or so, we were just teaching folks kind of in the living room, bottom of hotels, and somebody came to us and said, we need to brand it, put it together, because we actually do it. We do it on a high level. Mm-hmm. And we're teaching people in our community. And it started off about my community, where I am. Let's teach the people. Let's make sure everybody's building wealth through real estate. And then as we brand it, it just turned into its own monster. And so the educational piece is something that I like, because we are influencing more and more people. And the bigger the brand goes, the more people we can positively influence. And I mean, from kids, come to our trainings from 16, 17 through. So, if we can influence kids, and we can change some generations, man. That's what means.
It's incredibly powerful, isn't it?
It is, especially when you see the kids come to the trainings. Yeah. We don't charge kids. If you're 17, 18, 19, 20, whatever, we won't charge you, because we know that if these kids get better, we get better.
Yeah, absolutely. And you value their time even if they don't. Like, let's get them in the right spot and whatnot. I think it's awesome. The wealth aspect is one thing. Creating generational wealth is one thing, but when you're changing the person as well, and I think that's the most powerful piece in education is you're building wealth, helping them build wealth, teaching them something new about wealth. Money's not the enemy; it's a tool. But when you're actually able to change the people, and you have to change to become a millionaire. You can't be the same person today as you are today and become a millionaire. You have to become a millionaire first, then you make the millions. Yeah. And that battle and struggle and growth is pretty awesome to see when educators come in, and I applaud you for it. We do a bit of it, but not formally, because of, or at least for me, it's because of the accountability piece. And it's just like, look, I'll give you the information, you go do it. Right. But yeah, no, that's awesome. And so 6 years really, I guess, in education.
Yep. Right. And it's been an amazing journey. Mm-hmm. We've learned a lot, undercharging. I got my friend here. He tells me all the time we undercharge. And I understand that. When I first started, again, it was about my community. I'll say my community, African-American community. I started off at $97 for Flipology, right? 2 days, we feed you, we got you in the hotel room, we put you on a bus, we got all the hats, the whole nine, and I walk out and I lose, right? I lose money.
Yeah.
But I knew from the start, I knew that we're going to lose, but it was satisfying because I felt like we were helping more people.
Yeah.
Then I started to get around other people, and they was like, no, man, this same thing is $10,000 or $5,000 or $3,000 or whatever it is. And I got friends that hold me accountable and say, hey, man, listen
to your friend, man. $97.
You're right.
Man, that's low.
We've inched up a little bit. Right?
Okay.
We've gone up a little bit, but it does a lot for us because I've seen a lot of people go from nothing to something or build portfolios, and so that part is gratifying to me. Right now, we're making the money while I'm happy and we're teaching folks, and so that's a whole nother level for us.
It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And one thing you mentioned, like the $97, right? And we look at, we've helped a lot of people. We thought we were helping them for free, right? But what would you say, like, to that person that doesn't want to spend money on their education versus spending money on their education?
So if they don't want to invest in themselves, they're not really real about it. Now, it's some situations where I've been flat broke and just didn't have it. So you got to figure out ways to get to a point where you are able to invest in yourself, and then you'll appreciate it more. It's like the old adage, when you teach somebody how to do it and you make them do it, they appreciate it more than me just handing you the keys to the house. And so I've learned that over time. I've learned that free stuff, people don't appreciate it.
Right. They don't.
People will pay, $20,000 for the same thing that they refuse to pay $200 for. And whatever the psychology behind that is, it is what it is. But I have learned that, man, that people have started, as we increase our prices, more people are starting to come.
Right. It's kind of like what they say, when you pay attention, versus when you get it for free. Then sometimes people, they just don't.
Yeah, there's nothing more taxing than talking to somebody that won't invest in themselves, and you're sitting there just sharing everything that you know, and they just won't take it and run with it.
Yeah.
And it's free. It's because it's free. They don't value free.
Yeah. They don't have any skin in the game or anything like that. So they'll take the free all day long, right? But it doesn't really end up helping them. And then, with the people that are coming into your program, like, is there a certain, like, starting point? Do they start, like, with wholesaling? Like, how would you, if someone was coming in and they said, hey, I want to get started in real estate, I don't know what to do though.
So what we normally do is, now up until probably last year, I would just sit and talk to everybody. I would meet everybody everywhere. You can pick my brain, go get some dinner. We can get on the telephone. It was like hours. So I'm not making money, right? And so last year we started with a consult. You sit down with me for an hour, right? And I'm gonna figure out where you need to be based on your resources, your time, what kind of energy you got. Because everybody can't wholesale,
right?
For sure,
yeah,
right. And probably, I would say 95% of the people that started are going to not make it, right? It's true. Everybody's not going to build what you guys have built.
Right.
And then having the guts to do a fix and flip or a new construction is a different animal. And it takes somebody different. Same thing on buy and hold. Those are like 3 different people.
Yeah.
And when you can combine it, you're great. When you figure out, I'm going to stay in one lane, it's great. But then somebody has to tell you, based on your resources, where do you start? If you want to fix and flip and you only have X amount of dollars, then we know you don't go downtown Houston, right? You need to wholesale. Go downtown Houston and find some deals in wholesale. If you want to buy and hold, is this your best market? Is this the best return? If not, we'll go to a different market.
Right.
And when we start to talk to people during those consults, which are not free anymore, right? I can guide you within a 1 hour period to get you going like on a very fast track. So, most people think they want to wholesale because they hear no money down, no credit. No, but they don't want to put the work in. Because if you don't have any money, any credit, any experience, then you got to go drive for dollars or get on the telephones. Yeah. And if you're not willing to do those two consistently, it's over.
And it's not going to work.
Not going to work for you.
Yeah. And we saw that, we were in a group, I guess kind of around the time we met, and we noticed like some of the people in there, they just really needed to grab a realtor or something and go buy. They wanted to get into buying whole, right? But they were in there to build this big business of buying whole, right? And we're like, and when you're talking to them, like you're like this isn't like you aren't that person. Like maybe you could be, but you're not showing that you're that person who's going to open this big. What's the name of it? Blackstone.
Blackstone.
Like they were trying to be Blackstone, right? But they're having a hard time buying one property.
Did they have the money?
Bought 3 houses and then that 10 comes out of whack.
They may even had the money to buy. Yeah, they had the money to buy. Some money to buy some rentals. But all they really need to do is buy a few rentals, right? They didn't need to get it at 70 cents on a dollar, right? They could have paid 85 and been great.
They didn't need a mastermind.
Yeah, they didn't need any of that, right?
Like why mastermind if you're trying to buy 10 houses? Yeah, let's just teach you what a deal looks like, how to analyze a deal, and then go buy your 10 houses. Right. You don't need to be spending $10,000 a month in marketing.
Yeah, and so that's why I like how you said that you consult with everyone, find out where they're at, right, and then you're able to give them the best advice based on their situation, right, versus just giving everybody this box, right, because we know that's not the way it works. And like you said, same thing with wholesaling.
One thing I've learned over the past 5 years, even in like coaching programs, right? Mm-hmm. We've had coaching programs, and this year I haven't taken any coaching students, but we were that kind of one-fits-all coaching program. Mm-hmm. It frustrates me because I love this business. So I don't want you in this if you're going to do this. So we're not going to accept everybody. Mm-hmm. So now the new coaching program will be very selective of who. They got to go through that consult first. You got to pay for that consult. Then I want to know, do I really want to work with this person? They may not want to work with me, but I really don't want to take a $10,000 or $5,000 headache. Right. Because you don't have enough, or you don't have the time, or because you don't have the grit, because it's going to take that. This business, I don't care who you are, it's going to be some crazy days or weeks or whatever you want to say. And some people, based on a questionnaire that we have, based on the interview process, I can tell.
Right. So I love hearing that, because part of the problem and you said earlier that people can't do both businesses. So they're very different businesses. And I think that's why people say that. There's that temptation to take that $10,000 from somebody that you really don't see them succeeding, or you really don't want to hang out with them. I think that's wonderful that you can be selective and say, hey, look, you've got the $10,000, you qualify as far as, buying your ticket, but I don't want I don't want to deal with you. And that's the coolest part for me about this business. You get to work with your friends. Yeah. You get to work with people you like.
Yeah. And when you look at, I know for you, you've had, a lot of success stories, right? And so for our listeners, what would you say that the traits that you've seen of the people who have, taken a course from you and have become successful versus those who have done the same thing and they have not been successful? What are the things separating the two?
A lot of it is take action. Just simply take, because you're going to make mistakes. But if you're working with us, we can help you overcome those mistakes if you listen, right? And the people that have been successful have taken the risk. Even the people that haven't had as much money, they still have gotten there. Because if I know what you are up front, we can make a plan to get you there in 6 months or 12 months. Right. The second problem is a lot of people don't want to work on themselves, invest in themselves. Right. So mentally, we started this University of Wealth building because it wasn't just about real estate. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to segue to my friend over. I know he's in the corner over there, but he has a shirt that is, which one is it first, be honest? Physically, is it spiritually, mentally, and financially? Put the financial at the bottom. Mm-hmm. So a lot of us come in thinking about just the money. Right. And we're screwed up in the head, our home lives. And so it's hard for me to go out and I don't have the right spirits. I don't have the right mentality. So you got to work on that first. You got to go down that ladder and make sure we're working on those first. And then you'll get there. And then the other problem is everybody want blue pill, red pill, or green pill. I think it's another new pill, the green pill, right? I'm going to take one of those, and in the next 30 to 60 days, I'm going to be very wealthy. Yeah. Right? So I'm going to start a wholesale business, and I'm going to buy some magical leads that only Wholesale Nation sells, right? And
they're $9.99, by the way.
In some kind of way, I'm going to make that one phone call, and it's going to take off from there. I'm not going to have to do any follow-up. It's not going to be any title issues. It's not going to be 6 months down the road. I'm going to call this person. They finally want to sell 12 months down the road. People forget about that. Yeah. And they forget to put that on TV. They forget to put it in the infomercials. Mm-hmm. And those people that fail, they fail because probably those three things. Hard to get them to take action, and they want it to happen too quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, people don't know that 30 to 60 days takes 5 years. Yeah. It's at least 5 years, right? And if you're working your butt off and you've got some mental aptitude, some business acumen, it takes 5 years.
Yeah. The one of the other parts of it is, though, people don't want to spend money on partnerships and mentorships. They're greedy. Mm-hmm. They want to, I did it on my own. I'm a self-made, whatever it is. And so, the shortcut is either getting into the masterminds, right, or a mentor or a coach, somebody that can really take you from A to Z quickly. right? Give you all the resources you need to help you confine, build what you really want. If you're not willing to pay for that stuff,
what would you consider to be a good mentor? Like because that's the other question. People's like, we've seen it on our Facebook group. People are asking like, for mentors, and how do you vet a good mentor?
So you need several, right? You can call them friends and accountability partners. I have friends that get on me, like, get yourself together. I got friends that have the right energy, so it pushes me up, right? And so you got to first get in the right circle. But as far as a mentor, I think if you're looking to wholesale, you need to get somebody that's truly wholesaling
right,
to be your mentor. Somebody that can, when you late at night, somebody got that phone call or email that can help you step in and close that deal out. If you are building new construction, you need somebody that understands new construction. You may have 4 mentors or one that can do everything, and that's challenging. Right. So I think you got to have those mentors, but you also got to team up with the right people.
Right.
If you're not partnering, if you don't want to share, if you don't want to split, the assignment fees, you won't make it in this business.
Yeah. Yeah. And we see that as well, right? You see people, especially, when they first get started and, maybe they come to us or and they want to split the first one, but then, then after that, they trying to get it on their own, but then some years go by, they fade off, right? And I like what you said. It's about getting around the right people. Because that's what happened, with me when and with us when we first got, started, right? One of the guys that we were just talking about, we're in business together because how many times have we shared the love with him?
Oh man, we'll call it sharing the love.
Right. Giving him the love, right? We've given him the love, and but now, we're partners, right? And he's a big money partner because of that, right? So sometimes you got to give in order most of the time you got to give in order to get.
What if you only focus on giving? It doesn't, the receiving comes. Yeah. It does. Yeah. We've given tirelessly, and it gets frustrating. It gets hard, especially when you're giving to people that don't appreciate it.
Right.
Or take something like you care more than they do. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
But in the education space, I'm sure you can absolutely relate. You ever find yourself losing sleep over somebody that doesn't even care about themselves?
Yeah, too much.
That's frustrating.
It is. Yeah. You're pouring a lot into people, and that's one of the reasons I'm here this weekend, because I need to be poured into too. Because we pour so much, like you constantly pouring, and then you care about people.
Yeah.
Right? And so if you get tired, like literally this year I didn't take any students, so no. I want to do it because it's a lot when you talk about it. And so we built some new programming around where it's not so personal, and it's tough saying it's not going to be personal because that's what we need to do. But you got to build a system, and they got to plug into the system. And if they make it, they make it. Like we're going to give you all you need. So what are you doing to keep the culture the same? So is your we'll call it moving up. So you're scaling, you're bringing in coaches or whatever it may be. How are you keeping that culture in that same Ramon Tookes feel that I care about your well-being, et cetera? So the product itself is going to show you that we care.
Okay.
It will be nothing else that will be better. Everything that you can imagine is inside the program. Okay. Now, some of the personal stuff where we, bring you roses every week, that kind of thing, it's not going to happen anymore.
Can I add a page in that booklet for Wholesale Nation? Right at the beginning, we'll put a little mirror that says, "Any problems you have, this is your solution. You're the problem. You're the solution."
You're right. I like that one. I like that one. You are the solution. Yeah. That's what I tell people. If you hold yourself accountable, because on my jobs, on any of my projects, I always tell people if something goes wrong, it's normally something I did. It's some step I skipped. It's something that I did or did not do. That's my problem.
Or could have done.
Or could have done. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's my problem, though. It's my fault. And so you have to, you're right. I like that. I'm going to have to use that one. You'll see get some credit for it.
Just a little something at the bottom of the page. That's all we need.
Have the mirror in
inside. Yeah, keeping the culture the same is going to be a challenge. We don't want it to be the same because it was too personal. Like when I say like literally like we're all like brothers and sisters living in the same house with 100 people.
Right.
And so in order for us to get to that next level, we have to say here and give everybody the expectations. Here's what you're going to get.
Right.
And we go from there. And it doesn't have to involve me every step of the way. That's one of the things that we're removing. I don't need to be there every single second, every phone call, it's like, man, when are you going to do the business yourself? And I love the business.
Right.
So,
yeah. So let's talk about that, right? Because one thing you just said was that you want to find a mentor that's doing the business, right? Yes. That have, so that they're successful at it, right? So far as your business right now, so what are you doing right now as far as real estate is concerned?
So we do a little of everything. Still wholesale.
Okay.
We get a ton of phone calls, people looking for deals. If we don't have it, because we have a wholesale system ourselves, so if we don't have it, I reach out. You'll see me post, hey, I need this today, and I call my friends. I call people and say, do you have this? We wholesale. We make some money. You know what we're going to make, right? We're still, of course, fixing and flipping.
Right. Do you do all this in Atlanta, or are you moving out?
So mostly Atlanta for the fix and flips.
Okay.
Will I look at other cities? Yes, but it has to fit that 65 to 70% formula. I'm not budging on that because we'll normally partner with hard money, to leverage up our cash. But then, so fix and flip, new construction in Atlanta, buying homes all over. So we definitely work Midwest, Cleveland, Detroit, Southeast, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, North Florida. We'll do some stuff. We moved into Montgomery, Alabama. I just told you about the 22 unit. We did it as a group. We came together. Right. It's group economics at its greatest, but it leads us into another market. So we do, I'm very active. Okay. Very active.
Yeah, and that's what you need, right? Yes. You don't want to get a coach or a mentor, and the last time they played the game was like
12 years ago.
Yeah, 12, 20 years ago, right? Yeah. Some of them maybe 20 years ago for the last time they even talked to a seller.
They're still selling programs.
The program is still selling though, right?
You still buy the VHS,
right?
With the beach shirt on.
Yeah, they still selling it, but you always want to have people that know what's going on in current times, right? If not, then that person they can help you, but they won't be able to help you with what to do today, right? Correct. If not, then you'll have that person that's telling you to go put it in the yellow pages, go put an ad out. And they're talking about stuff that we used to do. Yeah, right.
I agree.
Yeah, and so multifamily, you've been doing quite a bit of multifamily, so that's something we've been looking into. So
I was fortunate enough early on. Atlanta was very inexpensive when I first started 24 years ago. Nobody wanted to stay in town Atlanta, seriously. And so I started in multifamily early. Sold some stuff, got into some other businesses, but I've always been in multifamily. So smaller multifamily, under 50 units. It's been kind of a sweet spot. We have not had I've been involved in a deal that was over 100 units, but me personally, I haven't bought anything over that. I like them, but I don't like them the way the market likes them right now. They like them too much.
The market loves multifamily right now.
Correct. They like them. So the ones that we're finding, we're looking, same thing, for really good deals, really good creative financing situations, somewhere where it makes sense for us to do it. And some of the markets that we're in, you got some great multifamily out there.
Right. So tell us about that 21 unit that you...
The 22 unit deal. So
22 unit.
It was, we've been working in Birmingham anyway. And so a young man that's from Montgomery, works in Montgomery, brought the deal to us end of June.
Was a wholesaler or what?
He's a wholesaler. Okay. Kind of agent. He's both. He's a real estate agent, wholesaler. He does both. He wears both hats. And we made the offer. The sellers were splitting partnerships, been in partnership a very long time, didn't really need the money. So we asked them to own and finance it. And what I did was I went out and said, hey, I need a few of my friends, everybody put up a few dollars. This is going to be the split. And they all jumped in. And we're still raising some capital to finish the renovation, but we'll get there. And so that's kind of a model that we want to be able to take, because not only will we buy that one, we'll start to, if 20 sets of eyes are on this one building, that means we got them in the community. That means we got more resources, so that when we find one duplex or a fix and flip or a triplex, I can call up those 20 people and say, look, man, we need $5,000 a piece. Something that's not breaking the bank. And then we do it and we flip it. And so our main building is growing in value. And then that model we can take everywhere. So now we've made 20 people money. So we had 20 more people. And you look up and we got 100 people that's in our network that we've directly made money. It's tied into some long-term holding. We'll keep on growing it. And so that was really the premise behind that. Because there's some more amazing opportunities out here, and you better not attempt to do them all yourself.
Right. There you go. Yeah. Smaller piece of the pie, much bigger pie.
Oh, and less headache.
Right. Much bigger pie.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. And I didn't actually ever stop to consider the connections that you get from that until you just mentioned it. Now you have multiple sets of eyes looking for the same thing, and they're all going to funnel back to that one nucleus, which is you.
Which is us. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's perfect. Wait till that idea catches on, right? It's going to start spreading.
Well, we hope so, you know, because if we're all building communities, it helps all of us, you know. I mean, there's some communities that we've been in, we're like, whoa, we don't believe people are living like this. But it's up to us to change that. We can.
Okay. Have you taken advantage of any of the new like tax laws, like opportunity zones and stuff of that nature?
So I haven't. This that 22 unit is in an opportunity zone. The way we look at it is we didn't have time to go after any kind of tax credits or anything because it was a 60-day deal. They was owner financing. There was no reason for us to say wait 6 months or whatever. But the way it will affect us is the stuff that's around us, the older shopping centers, the older industrial places. Investors will come in and see that, and they'll take advantage of the opportunity zones from there. And then maybe us. You know,
I wonder if there's any backdating you could do on that.
You know what? I don't know. We need to find out.
You need to find out. Yeah, talk to the accountant on that. There may be some sort of loophole. You could do it like a 1031 where you got some time maybe to claim it.
Figure it out. I like that. I'll remember. I'm going to text them when I leave.
Right.
Or just sell it to yourself.
There's an option there.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So I'm going to flip a question on you that you flipped on me.
Okay.
Right. Because we got a lot of our listeners are going to be new wholesalers, new investors that are getting started in this business. And I see you have your shirt says wealth building. Right. So what does wealth building mean to you?
Wealth building means to me, and it's all relative, right? Mm-hmm. I believe wealth building is whatever's going to make you be better for generations to come. Mm-hmm. When I say you and your family, so that you're not on edge, you're not like, I'm not going to say not on edge, but you're building not just about money. It's about your holistic approach to being a better person that's providing. Like you said, the uncle, you're that person that they know who started that thing, whatever that thing is, right. And it lasts for generations.
Right.
And so that's when you become wealthy. Because, a lot of us are cash poor, but we're wealthy people. Right. And it starts in the mind and the heart and spirit. And so that's where we want to make sure people are right. Because the money can come and go. The economy can crash. I've went through a crash. I can tell you it will crash, right? But this time around, I'm older. I'm 45 now. And so when that happened in 2008, which was 12 years ago, I was a young man that made a ton of money that was, I didn't know what to do at that time. We just felt like, hey, man, this is real estate. We're going to be okay. And we are. So the next time around, I'm wealthy in my relationships. That's big, right? Be wealthy in my spirit. Be wealthy mentally. I pray always. That's like the top one. Because if I'm okay up top, I can figure the rest out.
There you go. There you go.
So what is it again? Spiritual, mental, physical?
Spiritually, mentally, physically, financially.
Financially. See, I forget the financially part. I didn't remember that one.
That's right. That's at the bottom. Again, man, that's we're here. That's, I can say that's my great buddy Beyond Win, a phenomenal friend.
Yeah.
Right? And he will light the fire up under me, and you too, if y'all are friends, right? But that's what we need, you know what I mean? That's on the T-shirt that we wear. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you check it off. And those things, really, if you do them in that order, and get them in order.
That's the order it should be in.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, man, we got to get Beyond Win on the show.
We got to get him on there.
So if we have to do it through Zoom, we'll get it done, but we're going to get him on the show here pretty soon.
We might just fly back in. Sometimes we just want to kind of hang out and learn and eat a good dinner, and then so we
can
figure
do
it out
from there.
Yes, sir.
Right.
COVID's really thrown a loop in that, hasn't it? Man, we used to travel 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah, we hadn't been.
Well, no. So let me say this: we have we've had our shares of travel the past 90 days. Yeah, they were just in Atlanta. They have a group. They do some educational stuff, motivational educational platform. We've been back and forth to Cleveland. And so,
right.
Yeah, you got to put your mask on, wipe the seat down, and let's go.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. I've been traveling. Right. He hadn't. And so you're looking that direction when you say that.
Oh, he hadn't been traveling.
Yeah. I just got back.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so that part of it is, again, man, what we love.
Right. All right. So what would you leave our listeners with someone who's just getting started in real estate? What would you leave them with on what they should do to get started in this?
You know what? I leave you with this. I challenge and I struggle with something that is the norm. Only about 5 to 10% of the people that listen to what we're saying, watch YouTube, go to classes, are going to do anything. Mm-hmm. Out of that 5, and I'm gonna say 5%, right? So 95% of the people that are listening are not going to do anything. They might listen again. They might read a book. They might go to another class. Out of that 5% of those people that are going to do something, right, they're going to take action. Then somebody's going to quit. Half of those are going to quit. So we're down to about 2.5%, right? You got to, one, join up with some people that are going to push you. Because if you're in that 2.5%, if you're in that 5%, you're doing good. You're not doing great.
Right.
And I'm telling you, I'm challenging people. 95% of y'all are not going to do anything. And I make them raise their hand. We take pictures, the whole nine. They're like, we're going to do it. And in 21 days, they don't respond to emails. They don't respond to texts. They haven't bought anything. Even when we give you the complete kit to go and do this, right? So my advice would be just start, first of all, take action. But take action with the right folks. Right. And it's like a relationship. You didn't marry the first girl you dated. Normally, most of us didn't. I mean, I didn't, you know? And so you had to go out with a couple of girls or men, right, or women or whatever it is before you chose that right one.
Right.
And so don't get frustrated because somebody didn't fit you or you didn't fit them. Just do it again until you find that right person, and then take action with that person, because you will grow to the next level over and over. And then at some point, you may have to get another relationship to get to another level. So it's about taking action and then being accountable for the actions that you take.
There you go. And so
I think that's a great point.
Yeah. Yeah. If you didn't, like, listeners, if you didn't hear that, he just challenged you, right? He just called you out, right? He just said that of the people listen, you got to find out what 5% that you're in. Hopefully you're in the right 5%. Okay.
Well, you're not the end all be all though. You just said, like, look, I'm this step. You're going to have to do it again in another 5 years. Right. You need the type of person that's going to do that. Like we've been through how many education programs together? Yeah. Like we just keep doing it. And it's not that they're different. You know, we're going to get something different from everybody. And that's absolutely great. But that 5%, you're right. And that 5%, half of them are going to quit. But think about that 2.5 that is going to go infect another 2.5, and hopefully get that up to 5 and 10. But yeah, but you're absolutely right. Those are about how the numbers end up working.
Oh, that's how they, and that was so frustrating to me. I mean, I can tell you my first few years in flipology, I was like, are y'all serious? Like we giving you the Bentley of education, like everything from the finances to the credit repair to the legal. Like when you leave our events, there is not one thing that you can name that you need. Not one. I promise you, it's not one.
It's crazy. You can lead a horse to water, right?
But yeah, can't get them to drink. That's the way it works. So Ramon, first of all, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
And being on the show. How do people reach out to you?
You know what? I'm Ramon Tookes on all social medias. You can easily find me there.
There you go. There you go. And so also for our listeners, don't forget, we always need your help, right? So if you like what you hear, don't forget to smash the like button, leave us a comment, subscribe. We would appreciate that. But with that said, y'all come back now. You hear?